Good to see you, Adam.
Hi, how are you?
It's been a while.
Yes, indeed.
I first went to meet Adam at Tableau, his previous company, for my Amazon book, and I came away thinking, boy, this guy's tough. He's still like an Amazonian at heart, and now here you are back at Amazon. Well, you know, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's great to see everybody.
It strikes me, you know, this morning we've talked about OpenAI, big investment from Microsoft running on Azure. We've talked about Google Bard, obviously, Inflection AI, Mustafa's company, also running on Azure. So I guess, you know, my first question is this generative AI surprise, this revolution, does it buttress AWS's cloud leadership position, or does it threaten it?
Well, I think if we, you know, there's no birthright here. But if we do our job right, I think it should buttress our existing leadership position in the cloud. I mean, as you implied today, we are by far the most broadly adopted cloud in the world with the broadest set of capabilities. And I think that generative AI is both, you know, an incredibly explosive and transformative set of technologies in and of itself, and it's fully dependent on the cloud to be successful. Right. So if you look at the massive amount of compute that's required, never mind any other IT-related stuff, but just the massive amount of compute required, that's going to happen really predominantly in the cloud. And companies are going to want to view generative AI as part of an entire data strategy and data platform. And you're going to want to do your generative AI, you know, where you've got your data. And you're also going to want the same bulletproof enterprise security, privacy that you expect from any other cloud service. And because so many customers, and certainly more than on any other cloud, have that data on AWS, use AWS for security and operational excellence, I think that they're going to justifiably demand that AWS have a full, powerful suite of generative AI services.
Okay, but do you need a popular LLM or an exclusive partner running on AWS, as it does seem like Microsoft and Google have? I mean, I guess I'm asking, who's your horse in the race right now?
Right, well, I think, with all due respect, I think that's the wrong question. It would be like in 1997, when the internet's happening and everything's kind of going nuts around us, you and I sitting around saying, who's the internet company going to be? It kind of seems like a silly question, right? And by the way, the leading search company then was Alta Vista. And I guarantee you my kids have never heard
I love it.
of Alta Vista. So it's not, okay, we're who's ahead, which runner is ahead in the race after 3 steps, because it's a 10K race. You know, what everybody needs now is experimentation. They need choice. They need democratization of generative AI. And just like AWS was founded to democratize IT, we aim to democratize generative AI. So we're operating at all layers of the stack. We've had our own custom chip program for a decade now, way longer than anybody else. And we have, you know, not 1 but 2 families of chips custom designed for machine learning. Trainium for training and Inferentia for running inference. And so those are for people who are going to build models, train models. Then most of our customers will interact with Amazon Bedrock, which is a managed service for accessing, deploying, managing models. And here's where the choice comes in. So we are going to have our own models, our own LLMs. So Amazon models, LLMs, have been running in production inside of Amazon for a long time now. Parts of our retail search are powered by LLMs. A lot of Alexa's voice responses are LLM powered. And right now we're in the process of taking those LLMs, we're making them bigger, we're externalizing them, and later this year, those will be exposed for everybody to use.
And it's a Titan?
Under the Titan brand, okay. Exactly.
Well, let me ask you, so
But that's just one model, one set of models, I should say. We're also exposing Anthropic inside of Bedrock, Stability AI, AI 21, and I think a lot of others over time, because nobody knows. Anybody who knows which model is going to be the winner is asking the wrong question. People need to experiment, and we want to provide that choice.
Okay, so pretend you're talking to a customer now. Make the argument, why should they use Titan or one of these other LLMs you're exposing rather than GPT-4, which now does seem to have a significant leadership position?
Yeah, well, I don't know which model they should use. It depends who they are, and it depends what their application is. And some of them probably will want to use GPT. And some of them will want to use Titan, and some of them will want to use Anthropic. And I think it's preposterous to me to think that one model or one company is going to be the solution for every application and every company out there. So we're already seeing this heterogeneity. So we're seeing an explosion of interest in Bedrock and Amazon's generative AI capabilities. Just this morning, Omnicom, one of the largest advertising communications firms in the world, announced they're working with the AWS using Bedrock as well as our custom chips inside of our compute capacity to do generative AI going forward. Earlier this week, BBVA, one of the largest financial services firms in the world, announced they're working with Amazon on generative AI, with Bedrock. And it's that choice combined with the enterprise security and privacy, which I think are so fundamental.
I can humbly admit, as a journalist covering tech for way too long, that in the fall I was surprised by not only the quality of ChatGPT, but the customer response to this new wave of technology. Were you surprised?
Well, I think that, folks working in this area in AI have known about large language models for a long time. And very few companies have more experience with AI than Amazon. 1998, personalization on the Amazon website, that was AI.
Okay, still.
Called AI. SageMaker, 2017,
yeah,
now
sure.
used by over 100,000 AWS customers. Most machine learning in the cloud, any cloud, happens on SageMaker. So we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of people working on LLMs. I think the whole world was surprised that when 3.5 came out, it was such a dramatic improvement in responses. Not perfect by any means, but a dramatic improvement in responses over 3.0. So I think that was the surprise, but not the overall arc. But the good news for our customers is that we have deep expertise in AI. I've been working on it, different forms of it for a long time, and are now pouring enormous resources into the generative part of AI.
Okay, I'll give this up after this, I promise. But would you concede that Amazon's playing a little bit from behind right now?
No, I really don't think so. Again, it's the race analogy of are we really going to have a conversation about 3 steps into a 10K race, who's in what position? It's about the long term. Amazon has always taken a much more long-term view of the world than almost any other company. I think the key is we're building at multiple layers of the stack because we understand that's what customers need. We're also building applications on top of these models. So we've released Code Whisperer, which is a coding companion on top of the Amazon LLMs. And that's, you type in words, it gives you back code. In internal tests, kind of coding challenges, developers finish their task on average 57% faster than those not using Code Whisperer. Plus, it's very secure, private, tells you what open source you're using and what licensing restrictions there might be on it, which not every other solution out there does. So I think we're very confident. If you look at the only thing which ought to give us confidence is customer response. I mentioned Omnicom, I mentioned BBVA this week. Old Mutual, which is one of the largest financial services companies in Africa, is going all in on AWS and using us for generative AI. And really exciting developments to come. We're talking to one company who has millions of lines of mainframe code. And they're talking to us about moving over these really gnarly mainframe applications and millions of lines of code using generative AI from AWS. So I think it's this consumer application, this chat application, which is so easy for folks to understand because they can say, give me a haiku about farm machinery, and it does it.
That's the key,
cool.
the haikus.
It's cool, but what I think folks in this room and watching online understand is that there is a full suite of enterprise and company and organizational applications, and there's going to be huge needs there. And so, we're going to be focused on customer service and on coding and on drug discovery and on wealth management, providing better solutions for customers, and a full suite of applications across every industry. And I think we're very well positioned there.
And do you feel like you have or are close to having a GPT-4 quality model running on AWS?
All of the tests that we've done, as well as more and more customers who are in the existing current preview of Bedrock, have been very impressed with the quality of our models. And of course, again, it's not just about our models. We're going to be proud of our models, I predict, but Anthropic does an amazing job, and they're right up there in quality with any model in the world. Stability AI, big leader for generating, for models generating images. So collectively, I think these models will provide absolutely, the best destination, all with a consistent API set, consistent AWS security, consistent identity system, all in a private, isolated, virtual private cloud. None of this, hey, here's an application, and now you have to have a bunch of Fortune 500 CIOs ban it from their companies, which is what's happened. From day one, it's always going to be AWS class security.
Okay, I want to put a slide up showing a Bloomberg Intelligence estimate on projected generative AI revenues over the next, I think it's maybe 7 or 8 years.
I have not seen that.
And who knows what, about the numbers that far out, but it's up and to the right. And I just can imagine a lot of financial types who are out there, looking at Amazon's numbers and wondering how much of a sales tailwind this will be for AWS. So what can you tell us about, you mentioned it's so computationally intensive, what you see the impact being for AWS?
Well, it's really early, so I think prognostication is fun and probably important at the end of the day, but I think it's also important to be humble and to be nimble, anything ending in "ul," and to understand that we're going to have to all adjust rapidly. But that being said, I think that, well, look, I don't think any of the fundamentals about cloud computing have changed, and probably, who knows, call it 10% of IT has moved to the cloud. So we're still very, very early. And whether you're talking about any application, there's still massive runway for things to move to the cloud, and we firmly believe that they will. On top of that, I think that generative AI is going to be the next kind of massive increase in workloads, moving to the cloud, or in many cases happening for the first time and happening in the cloud. And so I do think that it should be a significant tailwind for cloud providers, and particularly for AWS, given our leadership position. Obviously, we need to come out with the capabilities, the services that justify people using us for that purpose. But I think if we do a good job of listening to customers, it should provide significant demand for years to come. I mean, the computational requirements are so intense. And one thing which also I think works in favor of AWS is that a lot of people are asking about, hey, what about the energy consumption? What about sustainability?
And you run those efforts inside Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, I also run sustainability. It's kind of the other thing I do inside of Amazon. And we as a company, and I personally, care a lot about sustainability. And people say, well, is this generative AI, massive compute, is that incompatible?
Yeah, are we going
with
backwards?
Being sustainable? Well, no, we're not, because number one, these workloads, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. So generative AI is going to happen. So let's make it happen in a highly energy efficient and sustainable way. So if you look at our custom chips that we design, if you take Graviton, for example, which is our oldest chip family, Graviton is 60% more energy efficient than equivalent x86-based compute capacity. And if you look at an enterprise just in general, never mind generative AI, just moving from their own data centers to the cloud, to AWS, there was a study done showing that AWS is 3.6 times more energy efficient than the average enterprise data center in the United States. So we are the sustainable place. We're doing it through a whole series of technological improvements, plus a commitment, which we're 85% of the way there already, to be 100% renewable energy by 2025, which is just around the corner.
Right. You guys had another commitment called Shipment Zero, which was a net carbon zero commitment by 2030, which you guys, I guess, maybe scrapped or you took off the website. As a longtime Amazon watcher, my heart just kind of sank because you guys have been so prominent about these goals. I guess the question is, like, have these commitments become harder to meet than they were to make?
Well, I think your heart should be sinking at the state of global warming, the state
well,
of the planet.
Well, it certainly is.
Because mine is. And we should all be concerned about that. But I think your heart should be singing at the leadership position that Amazon is trying to establish and at the improvements we're trying to make and at the very public goals we've set.
So why did you remove that particular commitment?
So, well, because it's subsumed really in a much broader, bolder commitment. We made a very public pledge to be net zero carbon across all of Amazon, not just AWS, all of Amazon by 2040, which is 10 years ahead of the Paris Accords. Now, for a technology company like AWS, I won't say it's easy, but it's doable. So you'll hear that from other tech companies. For a big retailer with air freight and inbound transportation and stores and packaging, it is actually really, really hard. And we will be the first to say, we don't know how we're going to get there in all dimensions. I can tell you how we're going to get there in renewable energy. I can't tell you how we're going to get there in all elements of transportation and packaging and buildings. But we're an innovative company. We take bold long-term bets. And we made this pledge publicly, not privately, in order to, number one, have a forcing function for ourselves, because it's not easy, and also because we want to inspire other organizations, governments, companies to join us. We have over 400 signatories now of the climate pledge that's growing every month. And it's not a competition against other organizations. It's competition against the thermometer. And frankly, I want other people to out-innovate us. I want to be beaten, if you will, in the race to become sustainable. And hopefully we can be inspired by things that other people are doing. So, of course, we adjust our goals over time, but the thing I would focus on is this audacious goal to be net zero carbon by 2040.
And that's a line in the sand. I mean, even as things like generative AI take more and more computational resources, even as you get more efficient with compute, that's a commitment that you can hold firm on, even if you don't know how you're going to get there?
We have made a public pledge. We intend on getting there. But there are lots of other areas of progress we're making in the interim. So, for example, if you take packaging for the retail business, the average packaging per shipment has decreased by 38% since 2015. Which is another example of it can be sustainable and good for our business. It's lower cost for us, and it's much more sustainable for the planet. And anytime you create a win-win like that, it just works for everybody and becomes a really sustainable business proposition.
Let's get back to AI, and let me ask you about Alexa. I know it's slightly out of your purview, but Alexa runs in your servers. Can Alexa be a generative AI play? Should it be?
Alexa is already, as I mentioned, powered in large part by LLMs that Amazon built and have been in production for a while now. And I think that she's only going to get smarter and better and more personalized as the LLM technology expands and improves.
It feels to me, as a longtime user, and my wife who's here knows I populated our house with them at one point, but today it feels, as does Siri, frankly, a step behind. Would you agree with that?
No, I think that Alexa, well, I use Alexa in my house. I mean, I guess we all have different strokes for different folks, and we love Alexa. And I like to think she loves us. Although if you ask her that, she won't actually tell you yes. I think Alexa's been getting better and better. More skills, better skills, more understanding of you and your likes and dislikes and your habits. And I think that the rapid improvements that we're making in generative AI are truly going to continue to transform Alexa into a truly personalized assistant. And we do want Alexa to be an absolutely indispensable, best in the world personal assistant to you. And I think that we got a lot of work to do. I'll leave it to the Alexa folks to fill in all of those blanks over time. But we're actually very confident in that plan and very optimistic about Alexa being able to fulfill that role in people's lives that I think they're really going to love.
I want to get to two more in the 2 minutes we have left. Your boss and predecessor, Andy Jassy, has been kind of cutting some of the big bets at Amazon, but one that he hasn't cut is the satellite plan Kuiper. And I just wonder, what you see as the opportunity, considering a rival system, Starlink from Tesla. It does seem to be, operational and quite far ahead.
Well, we're very optimistic about Kuiper. There's huge interest from governments, from enterprises, from lots of other organizations. Billions of people around the world are underserved for internet. And Kuiper really aims to democratize that. There's a theme here. To democratize that and provide great internet service to so many billions of underserved people. In addition, whether it's automobile companies, telecommunications companies, lots of other enterprises who are AWS customers, governments, they want, especially from remote locations, to be able to backhaul information up to Kuiper, back into the AWS cloud. And so I think as we launch our first satellites,
which is when?
Later this year, and then really ramping up in 2024 and 2025 is my understanding. And but then being in service in that time frame initially and being able to deliver that for AWS customers is huge. Before we go, I do just want to remind folks that just today, this morning, AWS has launched its $100 million generative AI innovation center, where we're going to be going out to all those customers around the world, enterprises, with expertise, free AWS expertise, solutions architects, engineers, strategists, and working with them one-on-one to envision, design, and then actually implement AI, generative AI capabilities, not talk, but actual applications.
So that's discounts for new companies, or?
Yeah, we're just gonna bring our internal AWS experts, free of charge to a whole bunch of AWS customers, focusing on folks with significant AWS presence, and go help them turbocharge their efforts to get real with generative AI, get beyond the talk.
All right, last one in negative 10 seconds, so I guess it's got to be a quick one. You and Andy are both in the same situation. You're the guy after the guy, the founder, whose name was synonymous with the early stage of legendary growth. So what do you want Adam's AWS legacy to be?
I don't really think of it in personal terms, to be honest with you. So I don't have a canned answer, but I will say that I would love it if I could be known to really help drive a business that is constantly, no matter how big it gets, no matter how far-flung it gets, puts customers at the very center of what we're doing, always puts customers' interests before anybody else's interests, yet at the same time is an empathetic, equitable, fun, and innovative place for employees to work.
All right, Adam Selipsky, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.